going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. You already know what time it is. It's game time. Who? Ryan Halpert in the house. What's going on, Ryan?
What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
Excellent, brother. Today, we're going to give you guys 5 reasons to be in Nashville in September. I'm going to jump right out here with number 1. And that is the amazing speakers, okay, that we're going to be having here in Nashville. Many of these speakers have already been announced, and there will certainly be 1 or 2 more that is announced. But, and oh, by the way, you can go to legendarymarketermastermind.com/Nashville anytime throughout this episode to grab a ticket to Nashville. So as I said, the speakers, holy smokes. Okay. One of the things that we've been sort of famous for here is having speakers who actually are people that we've taught and people that have learned their, marketing skills and sort of hone their marketing chops here at Legendary Marketer. And we've become fairly famous for putting those students up on stages. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in Nashville, Tennessee on September 5th, 6th, and 7th is we're going to be putting Kim Ballum, of course. We're going to be putting Ryan and myself up on stage. We're going to be putting Ashley Wilkins, Anna Moss, Steph Bruckshaw. There is going to be other, 6- and 7-figure earners in the audience. And of course, that's a separate reason for being in Nashville, of course, is the networking. Just in terms of the speakers, though, what I find is that people tend to be more honest. They tend to be more open. They tend to be more thorough at a live event. You ever find that, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's because you get to kind of really see the reaction of the audience, so it kind of helps you know where to go more in depth, and then you actually get to talk to that person afterward. It's not like security's taking them off stage and you never see them again, and until except for maybe in passing. They, after they get done, they're in the room with you still, right? They're in the room even while they're not speaking. They're usually in the back of the room watching the other speakers. And then, you could have lunch with them. You're going to party with them. We're going to spend a lot of time actually with these speakers, and everybody who attends, if they want it, will get the opportunity to speak to every one of our speakers, including Dave and myself and everybody else on our team, because of the way we structure these events. And we have them, not massive 3,000, 5,000 people events. It's, it's going to be 100 people in a room. Yeah. So that's, another huge thing about the speakers that's so great, and why it's so much more effective, I think, than some of those other ones where the speaker might just be somebody who paid for that spot.
Oh, don't call them out. Don't call them out, man. Yeah, the world of events and all of that are definitely like in a lot of ways they're very fake, I guess, for lack of better terms. You see a lot of these events that are like these success summits and stuff, and they have just a bunch of different speakers from all different walks of life and business. And they're essentially all there just to hawk something from stage, and each one sort of has their own agenda, and it definitely is a it's an annoying thing, right? Because you go there, you're trying to learn success principles, and you got like a new speaker with a new agenda and a new, like, it's not even the problem with most events is that they've become just only a pitch fest. You go to an event, you go to these conferences, summits, cons, whatever you want to call them. And, again, every speaker up there, they're not there to teach, they're there to present in a way that gets people in the audience to buy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that understanding the type of event that you're going to is important. And what we're doing here at Legendary is different. It's different. Each speaker does not have a pitch. Each moment of the event is not about hawking something from stage. There's not an agenda there to hit so many dollars in sales revenue. There's really not. I mean, we went many masterminds for many years, never sold a single thing at any of the masterminds, which is crazy. It's crazy to be in business of any sort, and especially one that offers coaching and different things and not sell. But we did that purposefully because we didn't want our events and our masterminds to be chocked full of speakers that would get up on stage, and each one, and kind of how they do it in most backdoor deals is somebody will invite speakers and say, you can sell from the stage, and I'll take 50% and you take 50% of the revenue. And that's a pretty typical deal. There's nothing wrong with that joint venture. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just that most of the attendees who went to the event didn't know that happened. Didn't know that the speaker made a deal with the event coordinator to hawk something from stage and then pay them 50%. So again, it's not so much about teaching. It's not so much about what the room needs. The speaker came in with an agenda to hawk a product to an audience regardless of who was in the room.
Yeah.
And so I've always preferred events, and I have done events dating back to many, many years ago, where I was, doing events for thousands of people, in all different cities all over the country, and we were doing a lot of large conferences, large we had a network marketing company essentially, and we here's one of them. Let me jump back over here. Is that showing? I've got a little delay here for some reason. Huh? Is that showing? Oh, okay. So
yeah, we can't see anything yet.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Okay. Well, oddly enough, I was trying to show a picture of an event that I did back many years ago. And I used to do a lot of large events. Again, I had a network marketing company, and we did an event every 90 days. And, I know what those large events are like, and there's nothing wrong with those large events. In this particular scenario, with the last company that I owned, we were also not pitching from stage and things of that nature. It was a similar concept, but a lot more people in the room. And I've always preferred that, to where everybody who goes up on stage has a similar agenda, which is to help everybody in the room with kind of the same thing. And kind of always talking about the same points, and not having everybody have a different philosophy or agenda, because they've all got something separate that they're trying to hawk from stage. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with making money. I'm not saying, it's just not the style of our events. And so when you come to a mastermind, the speakers are all going to be there prepared to deliver the value that you need in the room, the value to meet you where you're at, based on what you need and what your agenda is, not just only what the speaker's agenda is. And our speakers are privileged to do that. The reason why is because they've been students here, and it's a full circle moment for them to get up on stage and to be able to give back to the community. That's why it is like it is. So those of you who are coming to our event, our mastermind, understand why it's different. Most events, you have different people that are being pulled from different walks of life that are all just coming together to just give you a mishmash of business information. In this case, these are actual people, Ryan included, and I'm a student of this curriculum as well, who's up on the stage, who all started from the bottom. Now we here.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, all these speakers, you know, are selected, right? So you can't like ask us to be a speaker and then, you know, we'd say, okay, yeah, you're going to speak at this event. Like, we don't do it that way. You get selected. Like, we reach out to you if you have the opportunity to be a speaker, you know, and you only from working hard and having good values and you know, getting good results and all that stuff is what it takes to, you know, for us to actually reach out. I remember I first learned or kind of realized that, like, because there was this one event I was looking at, I was going to go to. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but I kept noticing, like, every event I looked at, there was this one guy that was just at every freaking event. And I'm just like, how is this guy becoming? And he was a guy that I was familiar with. How are you becoming like a featured speaker at everything? And then I dug a little deeper and I realized, oh, wait a minute. If I wanted to speak at this event, I got to fill out this application. I got to pay the fee to submit the application, and then maybe they'll let me speak on the stage. And the fee was something like $350 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it, right? So I can buy my way onto the stage. It probably, I wouldn't doubt it costed more. Beyond just the application fee. So that, I mean, it was like applying for a rental house. You know, they charge you the application fee and the credit check and the background check, and then, okay, let's see what you have to sell so we can take half of it. You know, I don't know if that's exactly the way the case went.
Well, I'm sure you want people up on the stage who are going to sell the most, you know, I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, like give us some recent conversion numbers. Let us know, how this, give us an idea of what we can expect per head, right, in the room. It's like this is how people talk in terms of events in this industry, and like it's just really kind of makes it all about money and makes it all about, you know, just how much can you make and extract from each person in the room. And this is the problem. The people that run events like this are the people that give our industry a bad name, just like every industry, right? There's people who, there's people who just make you look bad, right? And these are the people that put a bad taste in people's mouths, and it makes personal development in business development seem like it's like some sort of scam, and it's not, right? It's not. There is a lot of snake oil salesmen, and there's a lot of people out in the marketplace who don't deserve clients, who shouldn't be trusted with people, who abuse their power, who turn everything into an opportunistic, money grab. I've seen it in lots of different ways, right? To where like people will use some, bullshit. People will do all kinds of opportunistic things. We know that, right? We know that people are opportunistic in some sort of like, cockroaches or crabs, that if there's a carcass laying there, they'll find it, they'll sniff it out, right? I mean, people are just kind of like that. And yes, I use the word carcass just to make it a little bit more, intense. But yeah, sniff out a carcass and just start sort of gnawing and chewing. And I think that people do that in lots of different ways, both in this industry and, of course, out of this industry. But one of the ways in which I think that sort of opportunistic stuff happens is when good, solid people are trying to learn something, and people abuse their power and turn what could have been a great educational experience, networking experience into a pitch fest, into, you know, somebody going. It's sort of like these timeshare things where somebody goes in and before they know it, they've left and they've mortgaged their home, pulled out an equity loan, refinanced their house in order to buy this timeshare because it appeared to be the most, the best idea in the world at the moment. It's not like that. And we sort of pride ourselves on putting good quality speakers who all have a similar mission, who all have come from a similar place, who are all talking a similar language, and everybody can relate and understand to what everybody's talking about. And you're getting different approaches, but you're not getting different philosophies, right? Pete, you're not at odds. The speakers are not talking about 15 different things. They're all talking about the core 4 ways to make money online selling information. They're all talking about creating short form video. They're talking about creating lead magnets. They're talking about doing affiliate marketing. They're talking about selling their own courses. They're talking about the things that we do here versus, again, you taking time out of your life to fly out to an event and it be a waste of time. This is not that. This is not that. This is a weekend where, no, again, first reason, I'm only on number 1, for Christ's sakes. We're 22 minutes into this fucking thing. What's number 2, for God's sakes?
Yeah, I mean, number 2 for me, the biggest benefit, the thing I experienced like right away from the very first event I went to, was just the excitement and the motivation that you get. Just that feeling, I guess the best way to describe it is like you feel unstoppable after spending 3 full days in a room with a bunch of people that are just like you, but also the speakers, with Dave Sharpe, with the rest of the team, and just all the conversation that happens, the positivity, the energy that's in that space for 3 full days. And then when you leave that and you go to continue your life and run your business or start your business, right? You don't approach things the same way you did before going to the event. I remember I didn't even necessarily go to the first event I went to thinking I didn't have it all figured out. I thought I had my head screwed on pretty tight, but I left with a hell of a lot more certainty after that event than I did when I came in, and confidence and motivation and excitement, right? And just a very strong, powerful feeling of, man, there's not a reason in the world I can't do this and make it work, right? I want this to work and I will be able to make it work and I can make it work. And that was probably the biggest transformation for me after attending my first event. And I get, to a degree, I get the same thing every time I attend another one. So every event after that, I get that same type of experience. I just get that excitement, and I get that being around all these other people that are excited and being around, right? It's almost like it makes it easy to work hard on your business in a sense, right? And that's something that once you experience it, for me at least, it hasn't really gone away. It's just kind of, you remember that experience, and even though it wasn't yesterday, it's still an experience where you remember certain things and things people said and certain moments that you can look back on, and they just get you excited. And it makes it easy to work hard on your business and to be really confident, right? And getting on camera and doing all that kind of stuff becomes way simpler and way easier after attending these events. And that's not even necessarily because of any one specific thing we do at these events. It's just the energy that's in the room that you can't find anywhere else, right? It's almost like that invisible benefit that can't be recreated by anybody else, right? If I were to honestly describe it. And for those of you who have attended events, in the comments, let us know if you've experienced that as well. Kim Bollum says yes, but that's the biggest thing for me. Dave, I don't know how you feel after an event. You have to usually do a whole lot more than I do, but that's my experience. That's my number 2 reason.
Yeah, I do. There's definitely a buzz, and I think what I look for and what I think is one of the most powerful feelings that you get is a feeling of confidence when you leave an event. a mastermind because you realize that you are you literally, the person that you idolize or think is so much different or better than you get a chance to be able to actually be in the same room, be next to them, realize they're just a human being, and that you have a newfound confidence, a belief that, look, I can do this. This is not something that people are so much different than I am that are having success with this. Number 3, of course, consult with your tax planner, strategist, CPA. But things like this are a write-off for me, my friends, a business write-off. Not only is it the best investment that I make in my life and business to attend masterminds, to get around people, to form and build and nurture relationships of people that I want in my life and I want to be closer to, in groups of people that I want to be connected to. So I actively invest, pay money to be a part of groups, to attend events, to do things like this. So I'm definitely I eat my own cooking. But of course, as you'll see at these events, I'm also interactive learning, not just talking and teaching, but listening, learning, interacting, all the things that Ryan just said. But again, this is an investment. This is also there's a financial gain here in terms of both me being able to spend money on something like this and get a write-off, a tax benefit for it. It lowers my overall tax liability at the end of the year. And usually I cannot buy enough of these things or things like this. Each month, there's a list of charges in our company for education, for continued education, for various things that we've bought, a course, an event, something that we have looked into, are going through, are researching ourselves. And that's not even including my own personal things. So all of these go on, if they're business related, they go on a business credit card. Okay. And they go under my business P&L and expenses, which then gets taken out of the net number that I actually owe taxes. So if I have $10,000 that I'm going to pay taxes on because I made $10,000 this month, I could spend $2,000, $4,000 on a trip, a conference, something like this. And so now I only have to pay taxes on $6,000 instead of on $10,000. That's how write-offs work. And so there's a tangible savings. And yes, you're spending to get it, but it's such a unique bonus in business that you get to spend it and write it off so you don't have to pay taxes on that. That's a unique benefit that you get by owning a business, by being incorporated, that you do not get as an individual. I cannot, any money that I spend out as a consumer, it's already been taxed, and obviously it gets taxed again. It just keeps getting taxed. There's no additional benefits. There's no additional savings that I'm going to get in life from that money. It gets initially taxed with that 20 to 40% tax, 20 to 37 or so. And then it just gets nickeled and dimed every other place until it's all gone. Right. And that's why it's in at Mastermind. I talk about investing strategies. I talk about banking strategies. I talk about setting up your business properly. I talk about a lot of these things so you understand how to structure these pieces in a way that gives you maximum leverage. And again, that is one of the reasons for being a business owner, is so you can incorporate and you can use the U.S. tax code to your benefit, not to your demise. It's a code of rules, and there is lots of ways. I'm not going to call them loopholes. That's not what I look for, but that is what others call them, right? But there is ways to use it to your advantage, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And this is one of those ways.
Yeah. Like using it properly, actually, right? Using it the way it was designed, and using it which kind of actually this kind of ties into what my next reason to come was going to be, which is, the connections you're going to make. Dave does a talk about this kind of stuff actually at Mastermind. Typically at the past, I don't know if he's going to do it at this one, but the last couple he did. And we have a member that's a CPA that came to both masterminds who actually approved of the whole talk, where Dave was talking about all kinds of investing related stuff, tax related stuff, formation related stuff, not giving financial advice, but just, hey, here's what I did, type of stuff. And it was really good, solid information. And our CPA member, and this isn't just like fresh out of school, this gentleman was, I think I don't remember how many years he said, but 40 to 50 years in the industry. And he's like, yeah, that was a great talk. And then I think, if I remember correctly, that same gentleman had actually, I think he met somebody at the first event, and they got married in between the first event and the second event he went to. Is that what happened? Or did they come together?
I don't believe he met her at the first event. I believe they were just there together.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So they wound up getting married in between. But anyway, I walked by like halfway through that conversation, and I was just like, wait a minute, I got to eavesdrop on this because this sounds really interesting. But anyway, Dave talk got approval from this gentleman, and there's so many connections that can be made in the room too, because there's so many different people with different strengths and different weaknesses. So if you might be able to find that person who can actually give you consulting or services that are CPA related. You might be able to find that person that, if you're struggling with the tech, is really friggin' good at the tech. We had a member doing that at our last event too. We had somebody that just loves the tech stuff and was good at it. And a lot of other members, the majority, weren't and didn't want to be bothered with it, right? And now that person is somebody you could potentially collaborate with, right? They could be somebody that you outsource some stuff to if they want to do it. They could be somebody that maybe gives you some assistance. They could be somebody you buy templates or stuff like that from, right? So now you have a good connection for that. Somebody where you could say, hey, I need this for that. Maybe they can make it for you, right? There's all kinds of collaboration opportunities too. I mean, you want somebody to go live with. You want people that are in the same industry promoting similar stuff. You want to go live with people. You'll be able to make those connections. And of course, by asking people too, right? If there's something specific you need, as you're talking and meeting with people, hey, who do you go to for this, right? Who's your recommendation? Who would you recommend me to if I needed somebody that can do this or knew a lot about this? The opportunities, that's one of the biggest benefits of a lot of these events, is the networking and the connections you can make and the collaborations you can do. And if you don't, I feel like that's a piece that people don't leverage as much as they could. We kind of do a lot of sitting around and small talk about our lives, and that's fine. You can do that. And if you enjoy that and you're enjoying the experience, absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it. But a big thing is, you're in a room full of like-minded people, right? So there's a huge opportunity there to make a lot of really meaningful connections that are going to lead to opportunities down the road, even if that person's not a millionaire or a trillionaire or anything like that. There's a huge networking opportunity. I've met lots of very interesting people that I otherwise never would have met, right? I never would have encountered them online.
Not that trillionaire, bro.
That trillionaire. The first one, I tell you, the first one is going to be at our event. They sit in the secret chair backstage. Nobody actually sees them.
Only trillionaire I know is them Hot Boys, right? From that Master P, right? The trillionaire. Anyways, that's that 90s hip hop. Even Ryan's too young for that.
Not sure.
All right, so we've got 3. You just dropped 4, right?
I just dropped 4. Yeah. Ooh. Connections.
Drum roll, please. Number 1 reason to attend the legendary Marketer Mastermind in Nashville, Tennessee on September 5th, 6th, and 7th is, baby, so you can wear a cowboy hat just like I got on.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I was going to get one when we were in Austin, and then I missed the train going there. Not an actual train, but there was a group that went, and I was somewhere else. And they're like, well, I don't know where he is. We're just going to go. But
you mean
yeah,
when we all went to get hats and belt buckles?
Say again?
You mean when we went to get hats and belt buckles?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it you're telling the sad story of how you got left behind?
No, well, I didn't get left behind. I think I was up in the room working on something, and I just said, you know what, I gotta get this done. But anyways, this time, mark it. This time, I'm gonna have the hat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the neck piece. I'm
Right.
gonna have the flannel
necktie.
I'm gonna have the boots.
Yes, sir.
And real Wrangler jeans.
Ooh, real Wranglers. Yeah.
That's it.
A lot of things, a lot of opportunities open up when you get yourself a good pair of cowboy boots, jeans, and a cowboy hat as a man. Now, I don't know for you ladies what sort of opens up or what, again, speaking very PG. I mean, it's you guys who have your heads in the gutter. But what sort of opportunities open up when you throw a little cowboy hat on and you just tap into that inner cowboy or cowgirl badass inside of you? I don't know what happens for you, but what happens for me is that I just got a little extra pep in my step. That's all I can say. A little extra pep in my step, and I like it. I like it a lot. And so, yes, we will be going from Austin to Nashville, keeping it country. And I invite all of you to get out there and make sure that you pick up whatever is calling your name, whether it be a pair of boots, whether it be a belt buckle, whether it be a hat. Ryan says necktie, but get your fashion, forward thinking head on, cowboy hat on, and get ready, man, for not only the learning experience and networking experience and partying and all that, but also the fashion experience of your life, right? For you to step fully into the cowboy or cowgirl inside of you and step into Nashville, Tennessee, off of that airplane, into that airport on September 3rd or 4th or whenever you land, whenever the Eagle lands, and you throw that hat on and you walk into that room and you say, motherfucking whatever your name is here, has arrived. Okay? So get ready for me, right? Because I'm ready for you. And I'm going to tell you something. We'll match your energy. Okay? We'll bring the heat. We'll bring we will make you feel loved and supported and comfortable. But you just bring that little extra pep in your step, that little attitude, that little swagger is all I ask. Don't come in with your head down. Don't come in. Don't step off of that airplane with dragging your feet. No, I want you to plan this trip and make it out to Nashville as the absolute best version of you. And with a little swag daddy or a little swag mama, legendary marketer, cowboy or cowgirl badass in your step. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Ryan, what's coming up for you? Final thoughts. Are you inspired to bring your swag? And do you agree that wearing or getting your cowboy attire together and bringing your best boot forward is the number one reason to come to Nashville, Tennessee for the legendary Marketer Mastermind?
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, the swagger, it's the most important thing. I mean, I'll tell you this, right? if I get up in the morning, right, and I roll out of bed and I got no pants on, baggy t-shirt, and I'm looking like shit, bro, I can't do nothing, man. I go to the mirror and I'm like, man, look at this freaking loser over here. Ain't getting nothing done. Doesn't look good. People thinks he's a bum, bro. And then I get a little cleaned up, quick shave, teeth
Throw the
brushed,
chain.
cleaned up, neck chain, nice watch, good hat or hair done up, nice pair of jeans, nice
Ooh.
black tee.
Let me tell you something about
Selective.
Ryan. There's nobody that wears a pair of jeans indoors like this man.
Ooh, man. And I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with this. Nothing is wrong with this. When you look, I'm making the screen bigger. There's nothing wrong with this. When you look in the mirror and you say, that guy looks freaking good. That guy looks cool. That's a cool mofo right there. And that makes me feel good. And you know what? And that's why I'll spend thousands of dollars on jewelry and stuff like that. I'm starting to build that connection. Dave's inspired me to do that because I looked at that and I'm like, man, that's cool. I want that stuff. I want to be cool like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm buying it. I'm buying it. And it's paid for. No credit card. And I go and I get that stuff and it makes me feel good. And you know what? When I feel good, I get more done. More done. I'm more productive. I'm more excited to do the work. I feel good. I feel better. And it just works, right? So many people are worried about what the next one's wearing and, oh, I got to look like them and I got to look. And you see something you like, you get it and you think it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. And it is cool for me anyways, it's been cool to channel my inner cowboy. So I look forward to all of you taking some of our fashion and swagger inspo, okay, and really kind of recreating it both in your videos, but also at the event. Okay. So we look forward to seeing you guys there. legendarymarketermastermind.com/Nashville. Okay. You're going to meet there's Steph Brookshaw in the comments. She's going to be there. She's going to be crushing. She's amazing. Okay. And of course that was my number one reason to get to Nashville was our amazing speakers. And so Ryan, peace. You are the ultimate swag daddy. You are growing in that area so much. I am so proud. I'm like a proud papa, right? When you came, we've been talking back and forth. You've been evolving the swag. It's just a beautiful thing. I can't wait to see what you do with your the cowboy in you. Okay, the cowboy in you. And everything that you just said, the jeans, the chain, everything is going to go beautifully and perfectly with that beautiful pair of boots, that big old belt buckle, and that hat that's got your name written all over it. It's going to be, let me tell you something. Your lady is not going to be able to resist. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. My friends, get out of here. Have a fantastic weekend. Happy Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday for another episode of Wake Up Legendary. Meet us in Nashville, legendarymarketermastermind.com/Nashville. We'll see you there, and we'll see you back here on Monday for another one. Peace. Get out of here.
Peace.